Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And over the past few videos, and maybe the past couple weeks or so, it has been my great pleasure to have been able to have discussions with you where I could hear your thoughts about your favorite films in a particular genre, your favorite horror films, or your favorite Western films, or your favorite sci-fi films, romantic dramas, comedies. Thank you so much for this. It's been really a pleasure to be able to have conversations with you and to hear your thoughts about this and to see your conversations with others as well. It's a real honor for me. Thank you so much. And your enthusiasm helps me to be enthusiastic. So thank you so much for that. And your kindness and support are just, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You know, it's absolutely essential for me in this particular channel. So thank you very much, my dear friends. And to continue on, let me ask you yet another question, which is, my dear friends, what are some examples of your favorite superhero or comic book films? Please feel free to leave your responses in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what it is you have to say. Once again, what are your favorite superhero or comic book films? Now, I use the words superhero or comic book, but I think this is also subject to a potentially broad range of interpretations. And so what does it mean to be a superhero film? What does it mean to be a comic book film? I think a sort of strict definition might involve, say, a film that is acknowledged to be based off of a comic book. And we have examples of comic books in North America and Europe, of course, and also we have the idea of manga, comic books in say Japan and other places. Examples. So the word comic book, I think, can be interpreted very broadly and very liberally. So please feel free to do so if you're interested in answering the question in that way. The same is true also for the word superhero. And so we can interpret this in any way that you see appropriate for purposes of the question. Now, of course, maybe we can say directly that the word or the phrase superhero film would imply a film whose narrative is directly or indirectly about a superhero, of someone with powers that are considered superhuman, or that sort of thing. Or maybe a hero that has maybe not necessarily superhuman powers, but has certain gifts or abilities or talents, and that are applied in a way that are seen to be a kind of a hero or superhero type of quality or status. And so, and therefore we can interpret this in many different ways. And so if you are interested in interpreting this phrase broadly, please feel free to do so, and I'd be very happy to hear what it is you have to say. I do also acknowledge that with these questions, you know, I don't think and I don't expect that everyone will like the genre that I'm particularly asking. And so I know, for instance, some people don't like horror films, and so that's okay. I know some people maybe don't necessarily like westerns. That's okay. And I know some people don't like comic book or superhero films, so that's okay as well. So don't worry about it. This is just meant to just have fun and enjoy the topic of cinema, and to see what it is you have to say about it. You know, I admit also that for me personally, especially with the recent stuff, I've mentioned it before, which is that I'm very inexperienced when it comes to Marvel films. So I haven't seen all the Marvel films. I've kind of heard what goes on, but I haven't seen all of them. So I don't know about those. I haven't seen a lot of the recent films as well. So I can't really make any substantive, effective comments with regard to this period of films. But I can say from my own, let's say, my own well of experience, personal experience, that some of the films that I could consider to be comic book or superhero movies that come to mind immediately for me are, for example, Batman Returns. I really like Batman, but I really, really like Batman Returns. I think there are just some amazing things about this film. And I have I have it, and every time I put it in the player, the first thing I do is, well, I'll watch the film, but before I watch the film, there will be two moments that I always try to skip to because I love them so much. One of them being one of the moments where we have all three main characters together in a particular moment in the film outside in the streets. So Batman, the Penguin, Catwoman all together. And that's a really great moment. There's some sinister dialogue that is exchanged, especially between Batman and the Penguin, which I think is just fantastic, out of this world. And then the second moment in the film, speaking of dialogue, it has to be one of my favorite Christopher Walken quotes in any film, which is from Batman Returns, and he says "yawn." It's great. Anyway, so that's Batman Returns, and I love that. But the other one that I really like is, and I don't know if it's talked about very much, but have you seen the film Mystery Men? I love this film, Mystery Men, and I know it wasn't a big hit, but I saw that in the theater when it was released, and the theater wasn't that packed. It was pretty close to empty, I would say. Not a lot of people, but it was such a delightful film. I was laughing out loud at many moments of this. What a great thing this is. Oh, what a great, and I think it's gonna get it's. Now there are new Blu-ray releases, so hopefully that'll give more people the opportunity to watch this film, Mystery Men. Oh my goodness, that is a funny, just a great film. Oh my goodness, I love that film. So Mystery Men, there's Mystery Men, and if we talk about manga adaptations. I've spoken about it before. There are many manga adaptations I think are absolutely out of this world, but I have to say it, which is Akira. Akira. So Akira. This has been, and I think forever will be, one of the key films of my life. It is one of the key manga of my life, and it is one of the key films of my life. And this is such a startling work that is so prescient, and there are a lot of very amazingly eerie parallels that can be drawn even to present day. And Akira is not just that, it is a deep story, and it is a story about characters and human beings and friendships above all else, as well as a super cool sci-fi dystopian future storyline. Absolutely key stuff. And I love how the manga is and the film, they are related, but then they aren't related, and they are their own separate things. And so we have two distinct worlds going on here, and perhaps more, perhaps. But yes, Akira is one of the ones that I love very much. So, but I could go on about this, even though I admit to being very limited in terms of my knowledge of recent examples of this genre. But rather than me take up the conversation, let me now throw the question back at you. And now the ball is in your court, so to speak. So, once again, my friends, what are some examples of your favorite superhero or comic book films? Please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. As always, I'd love to hear what it is you have to say. So thank you very much, my dear friends, for your time, and until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great movies. Thank you so much for your time, as always, my dear friends, and cheers.